Hi, this is Carl Munson of Holistic Local, and today I'm joined by Kimberly Lovell, who'll be telling us how we can enjoy love, intimacy and sexuality through meeting our ideal or inner mate. Now, Kimberly is a transpersonal hypnotherapist and trainer, and she's also founder of the Solutions International Healing Centre in the southwest of England, where she provides training in transpersonal hypnotherapy, energy psychology, EFT and emotrance. Her students and clients come from all over the world to live their dreams and create the love of their life. I wonder if you could start by telling us how you got involved with this inner mate work. It's a fascinating subject, and we do have an article to back it up at holisticlocal.co.uk, but I wonder if you could just tell us from your personal angle how you got involved and what it's all about.
Sure. I've spent the last 20 years, Carl, training in a variety of disciplines and studying the human psyche, and I became fascinated by the power of our subconscious mind. So I trained in transpersonal hypnotherapy, which embraces the more spiritual as well as the traditional philosophies, and it was there that I came into contact with the Jungian concept of the archetypes and the inner mate.
And so this is helpful. I mean, you're saying to people in the article, you know, perhaps you're single or you're still seeking that elusive soulmate, or maybe you've given up on relationships altogether. And the idea here is creating a mate who's there for you 24/7. And you say a mate who can support you in creating wonderful, loving relationships with the opposite sex. How does that work exactly? How do you go about creating or finding an inner mate?
Well, the inner mate journey is not an outer journey. So this is about really tapping into and connecting with your heart and what you're really looking for in a relationship. So it's a journey that teaches us to look at how we relate with other people, and how we as a woman relate to men, and how as a man you might relate to women. And so on this inner journey, what we do is we work with an altered state of awareness, a very relaxed state of being, where we can just cut out the outside world for a short while, and it's there that we actually connect with those archetypes of, you know, woman or man.
So instead of this, the kind of usual thing of, I mean, in your article you say you know people are looking for tall, dark and handsome, or
Sure.
blue-eyed blonde, or practical earthy type, or the mysteriously mystic, as some people may be doing on Holistic Local. You know, how does it differ? How is the kind of the grand archetype different from those kind of smaller scale archetypes that we carry around?
Okay, so we're actually brought up and conditioned very much so by our parents. We often find that when we're looking for a mate, that we're looking for traits that we've had in our earlier years. So often we're looking for a mother or a father figure, somebody who can actually nurture our inner child. And very often when people look at the pattern in their relationships, they can see this happening. You know, people often say to me, "Oh, I ended up marrying my father."
Right, yeah.
So the idea is that we actually look at, you know, how we've actually built our relationships, what our experiences were, perhaps in childhood, and all this is done through our connection with the inner mate. It's there that we have somebody who doesn't have an agenda. So often, you know, in life we meet people and we've all got these agendas, we've got these ideal images that you know, we look for certain qualities, and those really aren't necessarily the things that are going to make us happy in a relationship.
You also say in the article, you know, aren't we just making this all up? I mean, how powerful is it if it's like a figment of our imagination? Or, I mean, is it a figment of our imagination?
Well, that's interesting. I've just posted on my blog today about imagination, so I'm glad that you mentioned that. Basically, everything in our lives we've made up. You know, we have this reality that is very, very subjective. So everything begins with a thought, and when we really get clear about what it is that we're wanting and what we need in a relationship, and who we are as a woman or who we are as a man, then we find that we're actually creating much healthier relationships. So, you know, this is a relationship that, like all relationships, you know, takes time to build.
Mm-hmm. Right,
and it's really about sort of taking that time and learning about yourself, discovering, you know, what you want in a relationship, and your inner mate will help you with that.
And you help people get on this process of creating that relationship with their inner mate, who you say is like your cheerleader. They support you in your daily adventures and your encounters.
Sure.
And your inner mate can fill the gaps that current partners cannot reach. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? And also, like the oasis in the desert and saving you from those lonely nights and so on. Now, if you're in a relationship and you've got an inner mate, are there kind of jealousy issues and things like that come up for people?
No, your inner mate is is offering you that unconditional love and support, which, you know, is unrealistic to expect 24/7 with, a partner. So for a lot of people, they have that anxiety, well, you know, I'm married, I'm happily married, or there's just a few things that are going on, you know, and they sometimes sense that, you know, that's maybe a betrayal of the relationship. But what actually happens is your connection with your inner mate will actually support your relationship, because if you've got a lot of stuff going on, if you're really quite needy perhaps at a certain time, to demand support from your partner may not be possible for them at that point. Whereas if you have that connection with your inner mate, you know, say your partner's off playing rugby or they're away training or whatever the situation, they're not available to you, but your inner mate is there for you. And there's no jealousy. There's no jealousy at all.
So far from being a threat, it's actually very supportive and helps people obviously to build more fulfilling relationships. And I might just have been talking out of my own insecurity there.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So well, you help people get in touch with their inner mate, and people can get in touch with you to do that. What should they do? Do they go to your website?
They can go to the website, which is www.solutions.
Do you want to spell that for us?
Yeah, it's SOULUTIONS.uk.com.
Okay.
And there's more information on the website. Or they might want to book an inner mate journey, which is a guided journey that's 1-to-1. And then they can actually explore and look at any relationship issues and make the connection with their inner mate.
Well, okay, and presumably people could do that over the phone, could they?
They can do, yeah.
Okay.
They can do.
Well,
there will be an inner mate CD being released in the very near future, so that's another possibility. And there are also teleconferences planned.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thanks very much for joining us today. It's a fascinating subject. People can read more at holisticlocal.co.uk. But thanks very much, Kimberly. Great to have you on with us today.
Thank you, Carl. Bye.
Bye now.